And welcome to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the More You Knows podcasting network. You're in the ring with Jimmy, Rod, and Chris. And Chris, how easy is it for a man of your age to move during a snowstorm halfway across the country?
Finally, the king has come back to Indiana.
We are so glad you came back to Indiana, and you brought a very nice Purdue butt kicking today with you. So thank you for that. Appreciate it.
You got to rub that in, don't you?
I mean, I work there, so I'm gonna see it. You're a big fan. You've been there a couple times, I think. Yeah, not very good there.
No. As an IU fan, this is a game that you could lose just about every other game of the season, but if you don't beat Purdue, it's a lost year.
Well, speaking of lost years, Rod, has it been a lost year for everyone else on the WWE Raw roster? Because your boy, Seth freaking Rollins, continues to dominate, especially over the modern-day Maharaja, Jinder Mahal.
Yeah, I mean, we heard an awful lot about that match, right? Probably more than the WWE would have liked us to heard about that match, frankly, because I don't know that it was hyped up for the reasons the WWE would like it to be hyped up, but it was okay. You know, I mean, I continue to say that Jinder Mahal is a formidable sports entertainer, and we all know that my allegiance lies with Seth Rollins. I delight now at this point in how many times Damian Priest has looked like a complete fool trying to cash in on my boy. And I'm just going to go ahead and spin this forward. Apparently now, Jimmy, I'm supposed to hate Bronson Reed because I think he was taking some veiled shots at my guy there with his quick little promo they gave him.
Yeah, well, either him or Gunther, and they've already kind of done the Gunther thing. So I think that would be a nice, in between feud for him. Hey, listen, he had a feud with Jinder Mahal, so he can have a feud with anybody. I think we're okay with that. If you are listening on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook, we're all over the place. And by Twitter, of course, I mean X, Chris. It's a new thing. Don't worry about it. Make sure you throw something in the comment section. We will definitely talk to you, talk with you. This is a two-way street here. You don't have to pay all the money. You don't have to do super chats. We'll take them, but you don't have to do super chats at all. We will definitely talk with you if you have any questions or comments. Chris, one thing I want to talk to you about here. I'm a little worried, not going to lie, that we are building to a Cody versus Drew WrestleMania match, which just throws all of my hopes and dreams into the dumpster. How are you feeling about this?
If we're seeing a Drew Cody run, it makes me feel better about Drew staying in the WWE in the long run.
Okay.
And I think they would have some fantastic matches as well.
Rod, I hope this match happens before WrestleMania, but I'm just a little nervous right now.
I think you have every right to be nervous because we never know what Triple H is going to pull out of his bag. It's a little harder to fantasy book a Triple H future than it was a Vince McMahon future because Vince had his certain tried and true rules and his favorites and his things that he was going to be against every time. And you could always fantasy book against that. And with Triple H, it's a little bit more difficult. But I think what we have here, Jim, is we just have the age-old pot boiling, right? We're just boiling the pot. We're just heating up a lot of guys. And we're just letting you say that, hey, we could go this direction. We could go this direction. We could go this one or that one. We just want you all to know that we know we could go any one of those directions, but we're not going to tip our hand right now. We're just going to cook all of them up and kind of mix them in a pot together a little bit. I think that's all that's going on right now. I don't see Cody and Drew at WrestleMania. I see this as just, hey, let's not forget the Scottish Warrior is a big-time badass.
I know I'm going back and forth a lot here, but there's a lot going on. And one thing we have to keep in mind, too, is you say your boy Damian Priest, we need to get him away. But Seth Rollins, though, legitimately hurt that knee during the match yesterday. They're going to find out more Wednesday or Thursday. Not that any time is a good time to have an injury, Rod, but I believe this would be a horrendous time for him to be out any length of time.
Yeah, we don't want to see my guy out past WrestleMania, but if we're looking for just a couple of weeks off, all right, that's fine. You know, we don't have to have him in the Rumble. We don't have to have him in a match before the Rumble. We can survive through that. But yeah, we're going to want to see him doing something at Perth more than likely, and we're certainly going to want him having that belt going into WrestleMania, considering that's the thing he's taking the time to talk to us about when they kindly put the camera on him. So let's hope the visionary, the revolutionary, the world heavyweight champion Seth Rollins is going to be okay. Send out to the Rollins Lynch family.
Chris, with all this going on, you're pushing so many different people going into the Rumble. As a new fan, as a person who didn't really follow until this past year, how is this making you feel about the Royal Rumble match?
It's keeping me interested in multiple people. As a new guy, it's harder for me to determine who they would let win this Rumble because there's numerous ways that you could go and they're all pretty legitimate. And you have two different title holders that also have different enemies in that Rumble. So not everyone is fighting for that same belt essentially because we know that our guys are going to be in there going after Rollins, a la CM Punk, but we also know there's going to be people going after Roman, a la Cody Rhodes.
I think that is the only positive thing that you can get out of the Rumble, or out of the Rumble. No, Rumble has a couple positive things. Only positive thing you can get about having the two belts, because having the two belts diminishes both of them. It really does. But this way, you can have more storylines to go into Mania, so you can get the matches you actually want. With Roman Reigns and The Rock probably being in that match. Rod, I know last week we talked a little bit about it without Chris. Chris, I want to get your thoughts, and then Rod, I want to figure if you've changed your mind at all. Triple threat at Mania: Cody, Roman, Rock, Chris King. Your thoughts?
How does Cody get there? By winning
Wins the Rumble or Elimination Chamber?
I don't see how they do anything but a head of the table match with Rock and Roman at WrestleMania.
Okay, so then we have a four-way at the Rumble. Does Roman Reigns lose the title after a 3-year run in a four-way match where he probably won't get pinned?
I hope so, which means he won't.
You want a 3-year title run to end when he doesn't even get pinned. You want AJ Styles taking the pin from Randy Orton to give Randy Orton the undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship.
Yes, give me something I'm not expecting. Give me something that's going to make something a big remembrance to make me vote Royal Rumble pay premium live event of the year at next year's UNOEs because they decided to give it to Randy Orton in a 4-way match in the Rumble.
Shout out to Nick Karen here, who just threw something in the Facebook chat. Thanks, Nick. Long time, close person, long time friend of mine. We go way back, Nick. Rock interferes to cost Roman Reigns the title at the Royal Rumble. That's something that can happen. But Rod, again, 3-year title reign. Ends on an interference by The Rock?
No, absolutely not. I'd be on this podcast losing my mind if that's the way that it goes. And quite frankly, I might have to be figuring out a way that I, as the non-producer, can mute you because you'll be losing your mind absolutely if that's the way they drop the belt too. So I don't want to see that. I like the idea of the triple threat at WrestleMania, and I'll tell you why. We're trying to make Cody Rhodes $1 million. He's doing a great job of making himself $1 million at all times. What makes him seem a bigger deal than being allowed to be in the main event of WrestleMania with Roman Reigns and with The Rock? I mean, come on. That's another page we could write in the story. Because as I say all the time in our group thread, the WWE isn't about ending stories. So it's awfully rough for Cody Rhodes if he ever ends a story. Where does he go from there? The brilliant thing is he doesn't have to. We just keep writing new chapters. The Odyssey was a really, really long book. Do you want to know why, Chris? Because people did numerous things on their way to the finish line. There's a lot of ups and a lot of downs, and we're okay with that. I say triple threat. Roman still has the belt. We don't need to drop it. We're going after Hogan in September. That means Roman keeps through Mania. Jimmy, I'm staying steadfast with that.
Grey's Anatomy is on season 29. Anything can happen, right? I mean, just keep writing it. I think they want him to beat Hogan, but he can't just do this every single, 2-3 months. Every couple of months he's going to
No. See, Jimmy, that's where you're wrong. He can. You just don't want him to. That's what I'm saying. You just don't want him to, right? Like, he can absolutely continue doing this. because what I believe is this will make people boil and boil and boil even more, right? We could
Yeah.
say we're sick of Roman Reigns interference, but what it's going to do is drive people even more nuts. So the minute that they finally drop that belt, even if we can telegraph it that it's going to be in September, it's still going to be an absolute explosion. People are going to go crazy, and whoever happens to be lucky enough to get a hold of that belt when it happens is going to be sitting on one of the biggest rocket ships professional wrestling has put together in quite a while.
I know, but Chris, we need that rocket ship to get fuel. We need that rocket ship to go. We just can't have it sitting, right?
No,
A rocket, Chris, is a device. It's kind of like a really fast horse that goes up in the air.
Oh, I love you guys.
I love you too, bud.
Listen, him beating that Hogan record doesn't move the needle for me.
No.
How many people does it really move the needle for?
Now, wait a minute. Hold on, Chris. I'm going to challenge you
Nobody.
the same way I just challenged Jimmy. Does it not move the needle for you because you're frustrated and want to see something new? Or does it not move the needle for you because you're being impartial and looking at it story-wise?
Story-wise, it doesn't affect me, Rod, because I came into the Roman Reigns story rather late. So there's no big thing for me to follow. I don't know the beginning of his arc. I came in, he's the bad guy. He's had this title the whole time I've been a new fan, and he only wins by some schlub way every single time. I'm over it. I don't
So it doesn't drive you more insane. It doesn't pique your interest even more to know, man, I got to be there to finally see my guy Roman go down. It doesn't pique your interest. It only bums you out.
The more I want to see it, Rod, the less chance it has of happening, and I lose interest, all right? I haven't been interested in the Roman Reigns fights lately, okay? I just haven't, because I know he's not going to lose the belt.
Yeah, I don't see him. Last WrestleMania, Rod, great 2-night event. Everyone enjoyed the entire 2 nights until the very end. 1, 2, 3, Roman Reigns wins, and the crowd goes silent. And that left a bad taste in your mouth. However, I will say this. If it's Rock and Reigns in the main event of night 2, I do not think people think that Rock's going to win. So I think they'll be okay with Roman winning, but it's still not going to have that big WrestleMania send-off that we want.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Chris just told us, right? I think he represents a lot of the fan base out there. I don't think anybody's happy with the Roman win, period, right? Like, I think basically at this point, everybody wants blood, right? The only thing that's going to make a whole lot of the WWE universe happy is if Roman Reigns' carcass is cracked open in the middle of the ring and somebody finally does drag those belts out of there, right? And then the bloodline's laid to waste too, and all the people who have interfered and kept Roman with the belts get their comeuppance, and guys like Chris finally get a dance on his grave. That's the only thing that's going to make the WWE universe happy. But I continue to try to step back and say, I have bloodlust like everyone else. I would love seeing another champion like everyone else. But don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Roman Reigns is at the top of his game right now. He has a huge Q rating. He looks good. He does well. He moves numbers. You know, I don't have a problem with the storyline. I'm trying to let myself not be frustrated the way that Chris is. And I'm not saying he's wrong, Jimmy, but I'm just saying I'm trying to not be frustrated by it and understand the storyline for what it is, pure gold, ready to launch the next superstar. And that's frankly what this whole business is about.
Chris is never wrong. Chris is a saint. Just remember that, please. And Chris is...
He's not going to disagree with you. That's what he's going to do. Not disagree.
Very pretty words, Jimmy. I don't think many people would agree with you.
I think that we need to talk about your boy, Chris Drew McIntyre, a little bit more tonight. He has gone toe-to-toe with CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, 2 very good in-ring on the mic workers. He is telling the truth, and he's a bad guy. He's playing this role terrifically. I love every second of it, Chris. He's a heel.
Whatever you want to call it, Jimmy. I'm not gonna tell the expert you're wrong, because that would be foolish of me. But you gotta like what he's doing. First off, he's bringing heat into the Rumble, like we talked about before, which is keeping me interested. He's got feuds going with multiple people, including Damian Priest, who's probably also going to be in the Rumble, I would have to assume. So
Yeah,
there's a
probably.
lot of interest right there. I don't see how anybody could be mad.
Jimmy, wait a minute. I think we need to start up a scale on this podcast. Chris has brought up a similar point numerous times this evening. And I think we now need a scale that we
Okay.
bring for the listeners at the beginning of every podcast. Chris's scale of how close he is to not watching wrestling anymore. Because literally he keeps saying that, like, I need something to pique my interest, as if he's like, okay, I guess I'll turn on SmackDown or Raw this week, but I really don't want to. You and I make the joke all the time. We'll be mad until the next episode of wrestling. You and I
Yeah.
are in hook, line, and sinker. We're back watching every episode. But Chris, do we need to start a scale that lets the people know how close you are to just being fed up and not even turning on the program anymore?
So what? How does the scale work? Is
I mean, I
one?
know, you tell me.
Sure.
You're the
So
one that
here
keeps bringing
it's
up
the
these things.
King's Canvas hierarchy. Okay. So a number one is you're all in. You would be watching this no matter what. Hey, by the way, all of our viewers and listeners out there, if you want to throw something in the chat, have us talk a little bit. Our boy Nick had a good conversation started with Roman Reigns being costed the title from The Rock at the Rumble. Throw it in there. We'll definitely talk about it for sure. But Chris, yeah, would you right now, if we weren't doing this podcast on a weekly basis, would you watch, would you keep up, or would you go on with life?
No, I'd probably still be watching for two reasons. One, our
Drew
truth,
McIntyre.
our truth. All right. Our truth is a national treasure, and we should all embrace it and love it for what he's doing right now. It is very possibly the best thing on Raw right now. And I have my boy Drew McIntyre on Raw. And then SmackDown, you still got LA Knight, who
Yeah.
I'm going to follow, as well as I like the Kevin Owens Logan Paul storyline
Okay.
there for the U.S. title.
Okay, so you're at a 1 right now. You would still be watching.
Yes, if that's how we're gonna. If one's watching and 10 is not watching, I'm
It's a big
definitely
scale.
I'm like a 1.5 maybe.
Okay.
Jimmy.
All right. Yeah.
Jimmy, if you'll allow me here, okay.
Go
I
right
think
ahead.
what just entered into the chat here, if you will, is a discussion I heard brought up on one of my favorite wrestling podcasts over on the Ringer Wrestling feed with the masked man David Shoemaker and Kaz. All right. They had Van Lathan. Okay. Van Lathan's a man who used to work for TMZ. Now he works for the Ringer, hosts a lot of kind of nerd podcasts, comes on movie podcasts. He's just a general overall smart guy. Not anybody who's 100% associated with wrestling, right? He came on their podcast last week with a vengeance, Jimmy. He was fully back in, and he let fire with an eloquent speech about how professional wrestling is something that all of us think we outgrow, and you actually do not outgrow wrestling, okay? You don't outgrow heroes. You don't outgrow villains. You don't outgrow challenges. You don't outgrow competition. You don't outgrow glitz, glamour, all of these things, right? The WWE brings it on a constant basis. And I love having Chris on this podcast. And I love that we have people who know us three and are maybe coming and joining us here on these live podcasts and listening back to our shows and getting back into wrestling for themselves and feeling that yes, I've not outgrown wrestling. Wrestling is top-notch entertainment. They do it well, and it's the only thing they try to do. And Chris, that's what I think you're not ready to admit. You're thinking that it's all these storylines, but really what it is wrestling has its hooks in you.
You're probably not wrong, Rob. It probably does have its hooks in me, but the things that are keeping me hooked in aren't the things like watching Roman win another PLE match. All right. That's where it gets rough. That's why I don't care about that belt anymore, because I haven't seen there be any kind of real threat to that belt at all.
And
All
you're
right.
consistent with that. I do appreciate you're very consistent with that.
And I want to see there be an actual probability or possibility of a Roman versus Rock match at WrestleMania where the Rock could theoretically win and take over the head of the table from Roman and not have a belt involved. To me, that's a much more interesting match than Roman still having the belt on in WrestleMania.
Because, yeah, I mean, are you thinking just because you know for sure The Rock is not winning if it's a championship?
Yeah, they're not giving The Rock the belt, right? And why have Cody in a triple threat match for that and give him the belt that way?
Yeah, I think it cheapens the win as well. I agree. So, Rod, I think I'm kind of with you, unfortunately, on this one because if they're going to do Rock and Roman no matter what, I think Roman needs to go in the champion and he needs to win at WrestleMania and just continue on because I do not want to see this match, this 3-year reign end on a schmaz. I don't want to see it.
No, absolutely not. And here's the other thing too, right? That it's the weirdest thing about the nostalgic hit we get from a return of one of our WWE legends, right? We love seeing them back. We say to ourselves, okay, we really want to see them in a match, right? We spent 3 weeks leading up to not last year's WrestleMania, but the one prior to that. Will Stone Cold come out with the knee braces? Will he do any kind of a match, right? And then he came out and he gave us a little bit of a match, and we were all loving it. And he won. That works. But we've also seen John Cena. We love the music hitting every time, him dropping the towel, doing the thing, run into the ring. That's all still great, but he gets his ass handed to him every time he steps in the ring, right? So, I mean, it's like there's not a wrong way or a right way to do the nostalgia, and the legend returns when it happens. So I absolutely do not need The Rock to win at all. And I love Chris's impassioned plea for he wants to see The Rock and Roman for what he calls the head of the table, and that means something to him. And I don't want this to sound mean, Jimmy, but why? Why does that mean something to him? Why does that mean more than Roman, who's at a belt that doesn't actually mean anything for all these number of days? You know what I mean? It's like, so it's to each his own, I suppose, right? All
I
we're
find
really
it
looking
would
for
be
is a great match, and we're going to get that.
Yeah,
I
I
just
think I
find
know
it a little bit more humiliating that he would lose the head of the table
Oh,
insignia than just the belt. Because, like
so
I've
in
told you,
storyline,
the
okay, he's
belt doesn't mean that much to me anymore. But him being humiliated and not being the head of the table sounds kind of nice.
okay. So, Rod, you brought up a lot of returners and how we feel about them and them coming back. Well, someone's returning again. Looks like he's coming back anytime now. Brock Lesnar is scheduled to return. It's WrestleMania time. Usually happens around here. They're also going to Australia. That could be something he does as well. It's setting up, gentlemen. WrestleMania, Brock versus Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship, where Gunther cements himself as a main eventer by beating Brock Lesnar. Well, okay, you can shake
No,
all your head.
Jim, no.
Shake
I'm
your head
going the
all
other
you
way.
want, Skippy.
I'm going the other way. All right. Lesnar takes the IC belt from Gunther. That's how we then get Gunther to main event status. All right. Gunther has finally a humiliation. He finally has something that knocks him down off the peg a little bit, but it's like the mountaintop, right? We already had Cody lay the groundwork for us when he told his great story about how beating Brock Lesnar helps cement your legacy as a WWE superstar, right? So Gunther losing to Lesnar still puts Gunther way up here. He can then rally the troops, slap a couple of people around on their bare chests and say, I'm going for the big time now. He can start romping through other people, getting up and fighting for the WWE belt. So I'm for it, but I'm on the other side of you, Jimmy. I say give Lesnar the IC belt. It's fine. He can have it for a while. He'll drop it quickly. Somebody else can get it. Lesnar as a transition IC belt champion. Who would have thunk it? But I'm saying it now.
Would you think that, Chris, do you think that Lesnar winning that championship would start a feud or would just be one and done?
I think if you can get this feud going and have Brock win the belt first in the first match, you could probably get a feud that lasts through SummerSlam, right? With them?
With how often Brock wrestles, yes, I think you could.
Yeah, and so then that gives you even more time to even build up Gunther more before you finish that feud. And if you finish it at SummerSlam with Gunther winning the third of the 3 matches or whatever, I think that helps cement him even more.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how long Brock's going to be around. That's the only thing. But I think Lesnar being back on WrestleMania obviously would be a fantastic addition. Hey, Lesnar comes in. What happened last time Lesnar something huge happened in the Rumble? Drew McIntyre eliminates Brock Lesnar. Drew McIntyre goes on to win championship, right? What happens if Gunther eliminates Brock Lesnar and then that starts their feud? That could happen for sure at the Royal Rumble. Let's move on to a couple things that a couple of our favorites coming up here on Raw. I had DIY get a win on Raw. Let's go. DIY got a win over the Judgment Day. Very long matchup. Excited to see that. DIY doing anything for you at all, Rod? Or you're still okay with them?
I watched that match intently, because I'm a supporter of all things Jim Riska, and I know
Thank
that
you.
you love that
Thank you.
tag team.
I don't
So
ask for much.
Yeah. I want good things for you, Jim. So I support DIY, but I was also watching for that little bit of, are we laying the seeds? Are we laying the groundwork? Are we throwing down a little bird seed here at the edge of the driveway because we want the Cardinals to come by and pick some of them up? We want the Blue Jays. We want the Wrens. We want the spotted. I
The
don't know, man. I
Rays,
was
the
going good.
Cubs, the
I was,
White Sox.
yeah,
Yeah. Let's go. Yeah.
I was doing good on rolling birds for a second, but you caught me. I was just doing sports teams there.
Falcon
But anyway,
involved. Yeah. Go ahead.
Hawks, you know what I mean? Blue Jays,
Go.
bluegills, a fish.
Bluegills.
Anyway,
Yeah. The Bluegills. Yeah.
I worried if they were trying to set up that, Ciampa's going to turn his back on Johnny Gargano. And from what I could tell, it doesn't seem that that's the story they're trying to tell for right now. It does
No.
seem as if they're going to keep DIY together and move them towards a championship match. So that's cool. But, they got to. I get the idea of meet in the middle, Jimmy, but I think they got to switch that up. I just don't think it's working, and I don't think people like that. If they had something cool that they finished their matches with, perhaps people would cheer them a little more.
Doing the hot tag, Chris, in the middle of a commercial break, not a good idea for TV.
Yeah, that doesn't work, does it?
No.
You think like did I miss something? Did that just I don't know. I don't know how you avoid that, but that's not something you want to have planned.
So we didn't mention this because we haven't really gone through Raw. There was no heat in the building. There was a blizzard in Arkansas, and they had no heat in that building. If you look at Seth Rollins' promo and backstage, if you watch it again, you see his breath coming out. There weren't as many fans as there normally are because of that as well. They even mentioned that in the broadcast, which never happens. So you knew it was pretty bad. And I bring that up because a segment that was going to get a lot of heat didn't get as much heat because there literally was none. Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch, talking back and forth. Rhea messed up a line, but she came back and got it. It was okay. I want that to be your Mania main event. I think we're going to get that, Rod.
Of course we are. That's why they were out there talking in the ring together. And listen, poor Jackie Redmond. Okay, Jackie, I understand that you probably knew a little bit about what being a WWE reporter job description was, but if it is that cold back there, can we not have Jackie in the outfit they had her in to do the interview with Seth Rollins then? I mean, my goodness, guys, come on. If we could see Seth Rollins' breath, maybe we can let Jackie wear a big, Charlotte Flair themed boa coat for just that one interview. We can get by. We can get by just that one time. All right. Hunter, Paul, whatever you want to go by when you're running the WWE. Adam Pearce, I don't know whose call that is, if that's the GM or if that goes above his pay grade, but somebody should look into it. No, that's absolutely what we're going to get.
Yeah.
Nia Jax is involved, and that's fine. But Jimmy, you said that you would throw up on this podcast, and thank goodness for everybody. They don't have to hear that if Nia Jax was involved in the WrestleMania main event, and it certainly doesn't seem she's going to be now. But me saying that cements that it will be a triple threat.
I was going to say, I really want Becky to throw her out at the Rumble, and that might happen. Chris, let's talk about R-Truth. All he wants to do is sell a little merch. Give some money back to everyone else.
Wait a minute. A lot of merch, Jimmy. How much? I mean, it looked like R-Truth was moving around like 13, 14 large there between everybody's cut in the ring. That's how much he's selling out in the parking lot. Good God. Chris, said it was sold and half the ring wasn't there.
You're used to dealing only in cash, Chris. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, listen, R-Truth is a hustler. Like DP said, what does R-Truth bring to the squad? He brings stacks to the squad, all right? And
I love you call Damian Priest DP. I love the DP nickname. I just love it.
And he gave everybody their cut.
They go way back. They were in archery school together, Jim.
That's a true brother right there, all right? He made sure everybody got their cut.
Oh, man, I tell you, this is a great show, and I love doing it with you folks. It's awesome. For those of you listening at Yeah We Know Pod at gmail.com. A lot of fun stuff there. Rod, anything else you want to hit before we head out of here?
Yeah, I want to get semi-serious here for a second. Everybody listening, everybody that supports the Morganino Podcasting Network, pay attention to your heart, all right? I'd imagine some of you out there are my advanced age. Some of you out there might even be Chris's advanced age, all right? Hearts are not a thing to play around with. I felt a little bit of a chest pain, went to the emergency room, was told it wasn't much, took a stress test, found out there was a problem, and I am currently awaiting further testing to find out the problem with my heart. But the one thing that I've been told, and the one thing I want to stress here on this podcast now, is early detection is best. So the fact that I'm finding out at about 43 and can do something about it now means hopefully good things for me. So pay attention to your tickers out there, folks listening, and we appreciate you listening. And make sure you check out Balls and Brew, our sports podcast coming up later this week.
Goodbye, net. Yeah.